Welcome to Teacher Access Center Standards-Based Gradebook 3.0. This session is designed to introduce you to course competencies. During this session you will learn how to use competencies, rubrics, and to navigate the gradebook. If you use student competencies, please refer to Teacher Access Center online help after viewing this lesson. We recommend viewing Gradebook Setup 3.0 prior to viewing the standard-based gradebook. As we have seen in the Gradebook Setup lesson, let's go to Gradebook Setup page by clicking on the Setup from the Gradebook drop-down on the navigation bar. In the Rubric and Competency column, that is the R and C heading, we see three different icons. The striped square means the assignment does not use either rubrics nor competencies. The ruler indicates the assignment has a rubric, and the building blocks indicate the assignment has competencies only. Here is a rubric we will use for all lab assignments. When you create the rubric, you will decide on the number of performance levels and the number of criteria to be included. First, name each of the performance levels. These normally are descriptions used in the grading scale for the competency. In our example, the levels are below average, average, above average, and outstanding. Next, enter the maximum score the student needs to achieve that level. In our example, a student who scores 16 to 20 points will be given the above average performance level. The description of each score is optional. The leftmost column is the criteria heading. Define a short name for each competency. This short name is used when entering scores. The next slide shows the competencies. The magnifying glass icon opens a window where competencies for this course are selected. Finally, the rubric type in the right corner of the page allows you to save the rubric for this specific assignment, any of your assignments, or make them public for all teachers, depending on your district policies. The scores from the rubric page will update the score on the assignment page. Next, let's look at a competency. Let's look at the assignment, Mendel's Law of Genetics. Click on the pencil icon to edit, then click the building block icon to see the competency attached to this assignment. The assignment is worth 50 points. This competency will be worth those 50 points. If the assignment had two competencies attached, each competency would be worth 50 points, for a total of 100 for the assignment. To divide points between the competencies, you must use a rubric. Now let's head over to the Gradebook Scores page for Biology 310 Section 2. Click on the Gradebook icon. The first thing we notice on this page is we can select either scores for report cards or switch to the standard-based gradebook to enter scores for assignments with competencies and rubrics. The second thing we notice is scores cannot be entered for the dominant gene experiment. The ruler icon under the assignment indicates there are rubrics. Let's start with the standards-based gradebook. Click the SBGB button. The new scores page displays with two assignments with competencies attached. There are also two filters, the competency filter and the competency mark filter. The assignments are filtered by the competency understands hypothesis versus theory. Since both assignments score on this competency, both are available to score. Now I've filtered on Create Repeatable Experiments, and only the dominant gene assignment is available. The same holds true when filtering on the competency mark. Next, let's score and publish our competencies. First, I will assign 25 points to all my students, then change those who have scored less. With the Assign Default Score tool, we can add scores to empty slots, override existing scores, or clear all scores. The black corners of each score field signify the score was not saved. Click the File Save icon in the upper right-hand corner of the page. If you move away from the page without saving, you will be reminded that you have not saved the scores. The oval icons represent assignments and scores that have been made available to students and parents through Home Access Center. A transparent icon indicates the assignment is not published. A half-colored icon means the assignment was published. A completely colored icon denotes both assignment and scores were published. Click the ruler icon to score the dominant gene assignment. Let's begin by overviewing the page. The top of the page displays the rubric attached to the assignment. The lower section includes the student and the scores grid. There are 3 icons on the upper right-hand corner. From left to right, they are Return to Gradebook, Assign Default Scores, and Save. Let's look at a few options to enter scores for students. First, we will score an individual student. First, click on the score slot to highlight the student's score line. Use the grid to assign the score to each competency. Next, we'll give the remaining students a default score, then modify individual scores where needed. First, we'll mass assign a mark to all the students using the Assign Default Scores icon. First, click a student score slot in the competency column to add the score. Next, click the Assign Score icon. All students except Sarah Jones received 20 points for the hypothesis competency. To change a student's score, simply click the score slot and assign another score. When scoring is complete, first save, then return to Gradebook. Our next step will be to add an assignment from the scores page. The assignment may be added either through the standards-based Gradebook or the Gradebook page. Clicking on the Add Assignment icon in the upper right-hand corner of the page opens the assignment drawer. After completing the required fields, click on the Rubric Competency icon. We will attach the rubric. Let's add the rubric we created for experiments. Check the rubric checkbox. Open the link, select Saved Rubric. Select the experiment rubric. You have to change the name of the rubric and save it for this assignment only. You may also make modifications to the scores or competencies. Scroll the page to the right. Since a rubric may be saved without competencies, a best practice would be to take a look at the competencies before saving. The ruler icon shows that we have attached a rubric. After closing the assignment drawer, the assignment displays and you are ready to add scores. Now let's look at other features in the standard-based Gradebook. Let's start with the indicator icon. First, let's switch to the Gradebook view so we can see all the assignments, not only those that use the Understand Hypothesis competency. Select an indicator icon to show assignments that may be dropped, where the student was absent, the student may have received extra credit, or a comment was posted for the assignment. The next several screens show examples of each. These scores are the lowest scores that are eligible to drop. Emily and Sarah received extra credit for 2 of the assignments. Amelia Johnson was absent. Let's see her attendance record for this period. Click in the score field, then right-click the mouse to see her attendance codes. She had an excused absence on March 25th in period 3. Ryan Moore has a comment posted for the Mendel's Law assignment. Using the previous steps, select Enter Comment to view or update an existing comment. Now let's look at the Action menu. Because the View Average report does not calculate averages for assignments with rubrics or competencies, it's not available from the standard-based Gradebook Action menu. The other reports and functionality are available for both the Gradebook and the standards-based Gradebook. Also note that Enter Comment, Edit Grading Scale, and View Attendance may be accessed from the Action menu instead of using the right mouse click to open the menu from the score field. Now we'll run a sample student detail report. Complete the options on the page to modify the report's contents. This report may be run for the entire class or for a selected student. Here is a sample of the student detail report. This report is often used to justify the average mark to the student or to the parent. Refer to Teacher Access Center online help for descriptions and instructions for the other student reports and class statistical reports. Let's continue with the functionality that is common to both the standards-based Gradebook and the Gradebook. You can filter on category. Click on any column header to sort by that column. The class list is sorted by average in this slide. You can hide or display columns. Right mouse click the course header, then click on Show Hide Columns. There are 3 actions to manage the columns. The double-headed arrow changes the order of the columns from left to right. The minus icon hides a column. Click the plus icon to display a column. You can also drag and drop each column. The student ID was added before the student name, and the student grade is hidden. Also, the course header includes an average of the student averages, the average for an assignment, and you can easily see assignments and scores that have been published to Home Access Center. Finally, additional student information is available in the student drawer. Click on the student's name to open the drawer. Let's use Sarah Jones. The student drawer opens in Quick View. You can add a note about the student in the course, see missing assignments, see the student's schedule for the day, or see the full schedule by clicking on the View Full Student link. Clicking on the column of icons to the left allows you to see more of the student's record. You may be able to see student contact and emergency information, their demographic data, report cards or transcripts, standardized tests, published classwork in all their courses, or the student success plan if they have one. The information that will be available to you will depend on your district policies. Here is a sample of the student's registration information. You can move through your student list without returning to the class list. The single left arrow moves to the previous student. The double left arrow returns to the first student in your class list. The single right arrow moves to the next student, and the double right arrow
advances to the end of the list. The student drawer also has its own online help. Click the question mark to view the help pages. Here's a sample of a page from the student drawer help. And finally, the comment icons indicate that both Amelia Johnson and Sarah Jones have additional notes. Clicking on the comment icon opens the student drawer in the quick view where you may view the note.